Hello, 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 hello. How you beautiful people doing today? Okay, let's get started. Alrighty, guys. So, I am trying to follow two separate lenses. I am trying to follow one for TikTok and one for YouTube. And let's get going. Let's get into our talking points. Well, I am Monique, and today we are talking about starting your own event planning business. And we're going to kind of get into why I chose that particular subject today. As I'm getting into the holidays and we're talking about booking and events and event planning and things that people love to do, or they have that creative zones, and I know Sages are really great for this, especially this time of year. And in addition to that, people needing to think about how they're going to calibrate their entrepreneurship juices and entrepreneurial spirit going into 2025, because there's going to be a lot of changes in our communities and we're going to have to kind of create some of our own lanes. So I kind of want to talk about over the next 6 to 12 months, I'll be not only finishing, ghostwriting for other authors, but I'll also be just putting out a lot of eBooks and training things that I hope helps you. And I hope that we can bring it forward. So I'm going to talk about some of the things that have worked and the things that haven't worked now. This is released this morning, and it is not only, if you get it on the Beacon site, you not only get this, you get the workbook that takes you through all of the steps, which is like an e-course. And in addition to that, you also get the ebook as well as the course, and you get a 30-minute consultation as well. So that all comes with it. So you get each of those things. So I think that that's a much better bargain, because you're not paying that $59 for the consultation. You're just getting that automatically. And so I think that's a pretty good look. So let's kind of go into some things that I think will help us. I'm going to go ahead and I've downloaded all of my vendor lists so I can kind of share those and hope that that helps you guys. And we're going to kind of get into this. So for some of you that have known me or read one of my first book, Blessed and Highly Favored, that came out about 5 years ago, you know that 28 years I ran intellectual property law firms, patent, copyright, trademark, and infringement. And then I got into the speaking space, and then I had a restaurant as well as an event planning business. And so one of the kind of things that I like to do is talk about building relationships. When you get into that specific space, if you're getting into it because if you're already doing all of the events for, say, your company, your office, in a corporate sector, or at your church, or in your family reunions, and this is something that you find yourself good at, and it's something you would want to do, that you'd be passionate about, and know that you could do it successfully because you like it or love it, then I'd say by all means take all of the steps, register your name, lock down all of your sites, lock down all of your socials, things are consistent across the board, lock down your emails, and then start putting everything in place, starting with your business plan. What is your budget? Let's not pretend that this is a business that you can do without absolutely any finances, because we know that that would not happen. You have to have some type of revenue for advertising, for marketing, for registering your business, for filing with the state if you're doing an LLC, for filing with the city if you're doing a DBA, for filing if you're filing an S Corp. You still have to file those fees. Your EIN, of course, is free. So it just depends on what structure you need. And then the e-workbook, it basically talks also about each quadrant that you should be putting your investment and your time in, and the ones that are easier to crack, the ones that will get you more bang for your buck, and the ones that are easy to contract and secure, where space is already existing and it's already there. You're just coming in and adding your touches to it and drawing something out of it that's going to help your brand and business grow. When you do one-on-one consultations with me, I will go over markups, specific contracts, setting up your non-disclosure agreements, your non-compete agreements, and getting your first proposal out. And we can do that one-on-one. But in the meantime, the workbook should be able to help you go through all of the steps. So let's kind of talk about some of the things that are covered in there. I'm going to go through the chapters. We're going to flip through this together so that you can see how complete it is. So there's a welcome message, of course, in there. There's a full table of contents about company culture, introduction, laying the foundation in your business plan, building brand from logo to social media, networking vendor partnerships, marketing your services effectively, crafting winning proposal and bids, securing venue exclusivity, delivering exceptional client experiences, managing your finances and scaling, success stories and lessons as well. And then the things that you're drawn to, jot down the things that, if you're a diehard sports fan or you love weddings or you just love to party, that helps you draw into the niche that you want to start with, the things that you love the most, the things that you're most passionate about. Where do you frequent most? What keeps you going back? What are the things that you would course correct there if you could? Then you start creating that list and building up on your list, exploring that particular industry, and then a complete overview of why it can be very lucrative and how you should be going about it. We go over key statistics, creating fulfillment, financial potential as well, understanding the niches, and I give you one. The first is corporate, what skill is needed. We then talk about event and social, wedding, and again, the skills and the niche and how that can be done, as well as the nonprofit sector, including fundraisers, awareness. When you do a one-on-one, we'll get more into talking about sponsor decks. If you're a nonprofit is your very first one, or a corporate entity is one, we can kind of go over sponsor decks for how you can get the outside sponsors to not only pay for that event, but then they pay a big chunk of your salary, if not 110% of it, for the event that you're doing, which then saves your client a good gob of money. Because again, it's about building relationships. Aligning passion with market demand, and that's assess viability, creating your selling propositions, and your peer-to-peer information as well, laying the foundation. And then here we kind of go over the things that you want to have in there to make it good. If this is something that you've already done and it's not done, I would suggest that you write down your ideas and your SWOT analysis before you do your consultation. That way we can finish this together and then go through all the steps, especially writing your executive summary as well as your mission statement. Those things are really important. If you can define your mission and your vision and why your business is set up the way that it is and why you do what you do and why you want to bring that particular niche to the masses, it helps you develop your elevator pitch. And outline your chapter of services. You want to make sure that that is included, but you also want to have a separate piece for that. And those are brochures that you can create. And we can give you some graphic artists that you can work with, and then also help you with the tools that you can use to do those on your own. Branding, understanding the importance of branding and branding relationships and how they work. And then here is when we kind of talk about not just networking and the vendor partnerships, but then also exclusivity agreements and partnerships and how they could be on a 10-year or severed or temporary basis or a long-term basis. And then you want to ensure that your contracts indicate that accordingly. Building rapport, really, really important. You don't want things to be transactional. You want to develop relationship, knowing and anticipating their needs, and then also what makes their business work, what they want to see at their business, and the things that they want to see streamlined or the things that they want to be better. Those are the things that you want to speak to, and the things where you see a deficiency so that you can make the efficacy of what you bring to the table better, which then is your elevator pitch and your buying point. Identifying reliable vendors. I say when you are working with sometimes a smaller vendor for large events, the cost is going to be a little overwhelming. If you're working with a big supplier for a large corporate event, you have a better buying and negotiating power in pieces. If you're getting 50 highballs, for instance, or 50 tablecloths, you're going to have a lot more leverage than a vendor who only has 50 in their entire stock. it's just going to be better for you and for your business. And we'll kind of go over that in a consultation with the companies that you can work with based on your state, negotiating your contracts. So when you get the first contract, or when you are ready to create that first proposal, you can do that in your consultation, because you do get that with the e-workbook and with the eBook as well. Professional pitches, formalizing the partnership agreement, communicating regularly, following up with them, ensuring that they know what's going to be happening with the next steps, expressing gratitude for their business, providing constructive feedback, and allowing them to feel safe to do that as well if it's something that they were not happy about. And then marketing the services and the strategy effectively as well is really important. Building the solid marketing foundation, and also a separate digital marketing strategy from a non-digital strategy. That way, you know which pieces are bringing you the new business and the new revenue, and you want to be able to get a return on that investment. If there's one that's not working after a 30-day period, you probably want to cut it off and not use it anymore. It's cold in here, guys. It's 41. Referrals, naturally, strategic ideals, for clients. And if they're happy, a referral is the best compliment that you can give any business. So you want to do that. Creating your elevator pitch and making it concise. What makes you unique and what makes you different? What added value do you bring to the table that will give them more ROI in working with you, pre you, and post you? And you want to be able to scale that so that you can show them the numbers that they're doing prior to you coming aboard and the numbers that they're doing after you're coming aboard. And you need to be really diligent about that, so that when you're seeking additional days or more exclusivity days, or where you are the point person for that specific space, it makes sense. It has to make sense. It has to make money, and it has to make sense. And if it doesn't do either, then it's not helpful for you or them. And so practicing the delivery. This is definitely not a practice day. This was very impromptu. I did the workbook for you guys until this morning, and 2 hours sleep, and now I'm back up here. And that's okay. We've got to stick to our word and get it done. Time is short, but we got to keep moving and make sure that we complete the task. Word of mouth is always going to be the best one that you can get. You want to also make sure you set up your Yelp and Google traffic pages so that people can leave their thoughts, their experiences, how it was with you from beginning to end. Did you have a listening ear? Did you communicate effectively? Did they have to chase you down? Were you quick to get back to them? Those are the things that matter. People will always remember how you make them feel. And this chapter just kind of goes through winning that particular proposal. Again, if you develop that rapport, if you have that listening ear, you speak to the need and you speak to the desire, because they will always tell you what they need and what they want. It's, did you hear it? And did you hear it clearly? And then did you communicate effectively so that they know that you received what they were speaking about? And then your call to action. And then research them. When they set up a meeting with you, make sure that you've researched them and what their mission statement is and what their goals are, and a little bit about them and where they are in the community, so that you have all of those points available and ready for that meeting, as opposed to going into it cold without that information, because it looks like you, one, didn't study and you're ill-informed. And we're going to go into how exclusivity works. It's different for a venue versus the planner. Those are going to be two different things, because they're worried about streamlined operations, exclusive deals, promotions, where the revenue is going to come from. And then you have to go out and pull that in. That's really important. Value proposition. Again, where is your added value? What are you bringing them that they don't already have? And then how can you add to what they have to make it better? All of those things have to be there. You want to make sure that you streamline everything so that the terms are clear, the performance metrics are there. You want to make sure that you draft a legal agreement, a force majeure agreement as well, which then breaks down the terms, cancellation agreements, where your liability starts and where it ends, ensuring that you've set up your commercial and professional liability insurance, provide outstanding service, communicate regularly, create win-win opportunities, and maintain professionalism at all times, no matter what the challenges are. You have to stay professional at all times. If you shake that foundation and you show someone that you do not know how to remain professional, they are going to lose faith very fast, and that business is going to be gone. Once you've secured it, maintaining it and making sure that you don't rest on your laurels, that you still keep giving the same excellence that you gave from beginning to now. One thing you don't want to feel is like for a client to feel like they're just another number and that you're just there for that. Build that rapport, build that relationship, and ensure that you always have their approval on anything that you're proceeding with, which lets them know that you're including them in all of your choices and decisions on their behalf. Any challenges that you come up with, let them know at the forefront, honestly and openly. Ensure that you don't hold it and wait and try to fix it without letting them know. That could always be bad in the end. And establish communication guidelines. Find out how they like to be communicated with. Do they prefer text? Do they prefer a phone call? Or they prefer a person that only wants to talk to you, no text, no emails? You want to make sure you adhere to that, because that's their love language in business. And so you want to make sure you're doing that. Be flexible and adapt to changes. There may be something that you have planned and it may not go that way. You want to be able to pick it up and keep moving and keep the pendulum going. You don't want the ball to be stopped in any way. Again, always exceed expectation, present and organized, calm under pressure, ensuring client comfort. Always send a thank you message after every interaction, even if you did not win the bid or the proposal. Send that winning message, because that will let them know that you appreciated their time and that they took the time to meet with you. 2 out of 10 times you will hear from that person again in the future, because they like that you were professional and that it was a classy way to approach business. Also request feedback, things that did not get you the win, or why did you get the win, and what could you have done better, or what could you have done differently. Offer additional services or referrals. Once they express their satisfaction, what can you add to it that would help take the pressure off of them, or what they could use to help them move forward, or to move the ball forward. And then that's the key to repeat business. Again, staying connected, loyalty programs, special offers, they generally come back. I try to every quarter send a mass email out to prior and current clients so that they know what I'm working on and what my availability is, so that I can just bring work in. And that people always like that. They know that you're thinking about them and seeing what their needs are. And so we are going to go, this is all in the ebook for you. It's very, very thorough. So let me go. This is a sample budget that I put together for each things, and then also a budget conclusion, as well as the templates that you need to build. You need a client inquiry form, event planning questionnaire, a budget tracking form, vendor contact information form, event timeline and agenda. And in closing, congratulations on your new venture. And I hope that this helps, and that, you can utilize this. And again, you can do contract, 1099, all of those things to get going while you're alone, and then contract other things out with the visual audio, with a BOGO designer, with the person that does your step and repeat, the person that does your pipe and drape, the linens, your highballs. And then if you're getting into the wedding sector, working and contracting with transportation companies so that you can do the bachelorette t-shirts, the gift baskets, the liquor baskets. There's so many things you can do. So if you go to the beacons.ai/motalks/site, you can get the workbook, which is really detailed, and you can get this ebook as well. And if you use code DEC, all caps 2, it's 20% off. And when you do that, you also get to schedule a 30-minute consultation, and you will get a calendar item from me with the available dates between 7 and 7 p.m. And I hope that this helps, and good luck on your journey. Thank you. Have a blessed one.